Hello. So today we're going to be doing something very exciting. A few months ago, I read My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, and I did not like it. I picked it up because I wanted romance, but I was also tired of romance, so I thought it'd be a cute little mystery thriller romance. And I also heard a lot of good things about Tessa Bailey, so I thought it was just the perfect book for me at the time, and it ended up pushing me into a reading slump. And it's less than 300 pages, and it took me nearly 2 months to finish because of how much I disliked it. So I ended up telling myself that I will never again read a Tessa Bailey book. I just didn't like it. But I keep hearing so many good things about her, so I thought, you know what? I will give her a redemption arc. I will give her 2 more chances to convince me that I like her. It sounds like I'm gonna attack her or something. I'm not. I'm just gonna read 2 more books. But yes, so I decided I will read It Happened One Summer and then Hook, Line, and Sinker. I know those 2 are 2 very popular books of hers. I have seen and heard decent things, and in general I feel like those 2 might just be very good options for her redemption. So hopefully this goes well. As I'm filming this, I've already started It Happened One Summer, and it's been going pretty well, but I will give update clips and I will try and make this as spoiler free as possible, and hopefully by the end of this video I will be a Tessa Bailey fan. So I just started with Hook, Line, and Sinker. I am 4 minutes into the first chapter and I already have a complaint, so we're not off to a great start. I think my biggest issue that I'm going to have with this series and just Tessa Bailey as an author is the fact that she writes very, very, very smutty books, and the little bit of smut that I got in My Killer Vacation was not fun for me. I didn't enjoy it. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I'm not a smut girly. I very rarely enjoy it. It needs to be very well done, in my opinion, for me to enjoy it. And so far, in the 4 minutes, I think she's talked about boobs at least 3 to 5 separate times. So I'm worried. Alright, so I'm about 28% of the way through It Happened One Summer, and so far it's actually been very interesting. I've been enjoying it. It's just like a fun little lighthearted read, which I don't really have any issues with so far, which has definitely been surprising me. I didn't think I'd feel this way, but you know, at least that's good. And then the only thing I haven't liked so far was when he went into her and her sister's apartment, and he made afterwards he made the white underwear comment. I thought that was a bit gross and creepy, that it reminded him of innocence but also sexiness, ew. So that was gross, but other than that, it's been very likable. It's been very enjoyable. I really enjoyed watching him trying to set up an Instagram page like he's some kind of grandpa. That was very funny to me. So yeah, so far it's going well, it's going good, and I'm surprisingly relieved that it's going well. But like I said, I'm only 28% into the book, so who knows where it's going to go. Currently, I'm on chapter 15, so that's about 41% through the book, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm actually very surprised. I went into this thinking the absolute worst, thinking I'm gonna waste my time and just get into a reading rut, but I'm actually enjoying this book quite a lot. It's definitely not going to be a favorite, but it's just a fun little read for me. One thing that bothers me though is he has recently decided that he's okay moving on and pursuing Piper. However, when he decided that, he was talking about how it was more so the guilt he felt for the parents and everyone else for moving on rather than him feeling guilty for himself, and I don't really like that much. I feel like we should have been shown that more, instead of when they met him flashing his ring, he contemplates whether or not he wants to show it, and we see that, and I wish we saw more of his interest in wanting to move on earlier, because it kind of feels like we were told rather than shown, and it feels a bit inauthentic to me. So that's the one thing I haven't liked about the plot. So that's the one thing I haven't liked about the romance so far. But other than that, things are going great. They're a weird couple. I don't really see them together personally, but I'm only 41% of the way through, and he's only now trying to court her. So it might possibly get better. I'm not sure. But right now it doesn't feel like they should be a couple. Like, they're just way too different and awkward, and I don't know, I don't see them working, you know? So they've gotten together, and I have to say they're a very cute couple. Piper's mom gave her a warning at the beginning of the book about fishermen, and that warning kind of like came true, I want to say. So it's like a very scary time right now, and they're a very cute couple. He's very good with her. I really like that it's Grumpy Sunshine, but he's not mean. He's just quiet and broody, but he's still a very nice person. I really enjoy that. So I do change my mind from the last update. I think they make a very cute couple, but smut is awful. I hate it. I genuinely hate the smut. Not at all surprised, because My Killer Vacation kind of like it. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew I wouldn't like it, so I don't mind too much. I just skip over those parts. It's really not that big of a deal for me. But yeah, it's very interesting. Again, they're basically together, and we're at the halfway point, so I'm very interested in what the third act conflict is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be a breakup because she's going to leave back to LA, but I'm not sure. Surprisingly enough, I don't think I'd mind a third act breakup or miscommunication in this book, since it makes more sense with their situations and everything, which is also surprising. But yeah, we will see. We're doing well so far. I'm very shocked and surprised and every other synonym. So yeah, I'm excited. This is going really well. So in terms of It Happened One Summer, I'm very close to finishing it. I am planning on finishing it today, and then I'll either be starting Hook, Line, and Sinker next, which I haven't read the back, but I'll be shocked if it's not about Hannah and Fox. I'm really liking this book so far. I don't know what I'm going to give it yet. Like, I haven't had a gut feeling about the star racing yet, but I am really enjoying it. In terms of them being a couple, I do find them a little bit embarrassing, but not in a bad way, just kind of like, you know, when a couple acts so cute, it's kind of like, ooh, like that's how I feel about it. So, but yeah, it's going well. I'm very happy with it. No complaints, other than the one that I just said, so I guess one complaint. I'm happy I decided to give Tessa Bailey another shot, because these books are very just fun to listen to. So originally, as you know, I went into this because I didn't like My Killer Vacation. I wanted to give Tessa Bailey another shot because I heard that that book is not the best representation of her writing. So I did, and as you know, I read It Happened One Summer, and I actually finished it yesterday. I will be starting Hook, Line, and Sinker today, and so far, it has gone very well. I actually had a very hard time giving this book a star rating, but I ended up choosing 3 stars because it just felt most representational of the book. It might change, I don't know. Like I said, I have no rating for it mentally, emotionally, like nothing sticking out to me the way it usually does. So I picked 3 because it's a very average rating for me. I believe I said this before, but 3 stars for me is I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, I liked it, it was decent, it entertained me, yada yada yada. It was good. It was a 3-star. I actually really enjoyed it. I liked the romance a lot. I thought they were a very cute couple. At first I didn't really see it, but in general, like, I came around to it. I liked it. That being said, I think every star in the universe that I never have to hear the narrator say baby again, because that's his nickname for her, and that's one of my least favorite nicknames. Just the way she made him say it just gave me the absolute biggest ick of all time. In addition, I also really enjoyed how they handled her changing and her growing up and growing to care about money, care about people, and not just being this kind of like spoiled Instagram girl. And I really enjoyed watching her relationship develop with her grandmother, and it was just a very sweet story overall. And then I've mentioned this before, but the only thing I didn't like was the smut, which ended up being fine because I would just skip 30 seconds a million times until it was over. It really was not that big of a deal. It was just not my cup of tea. I knew from reading My Killer Vacation that Tessa Bailey smut is just not for me, and I knew that going into this book, so that was very helpful because I didn't feel the need to take points away or anything from it because I already knew like, oh, skip over it, I don't like it, like exclude that from your opinion because you know you don't like it kind of situation. So that was really fun, and so far she's only halfway, but I think her redemption arc is going great. Yeah, if this goes well, I might even read Secretly Yours, not for this video, but just because I want to, which is very exciting. So yeah, this was a really good read for me, but alas, this challenge is not over because I'm starting book 2 today. So let's hope it goes uphill. I really hope the story is about Hannah and Fox. If it is not, I will fight someone. So we'll see. I didn't read the blurb to the first one. I'm not reading the blurb to the second one. I'll find out when I find out. But if it's not, I'm fighting someone, so someone get ready. So I'm not very far into Hook, Line, and Sinker. I just wanted to update and say I'm very happy to hear that this is about Hannah and Fox. I think they're going to be a cute couple, and I absolutely love that his nickname for her is Freckles. I think that's the absolute cutest thing. I'm very close to finishing the book. I think I'll be finishing it today, and then I will let you guys know my final thoughts and opinion tomorrow. But so far, I do have to say, one thing that I'm really enjoying is the fact that it's Fox who's scared of being in a relationship, not Hannah. So it's kind of like a role reversal of who does the convincing of like, no, we can be, we'll be fine, yada yada yada. Because normally it's the girl who's having those feelings. So it's been very nice watching the role reversal and watching the guy struggle with his emotions instead. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm very excited to finish it. Just like it happened one summer, I have no idea what I'm going to rate this in terms of stars. I don't really have that initial feeling, so we'll see. But I think tomorrow's review is going to be good. I'm very certain of that. I have finished Hook, Line, and Sinker, and it was also 3 stars. So both books in the series I gave 3 stars, which honestly, that's really great. I really enjoyed Hannah and Fox's story. I think they're such a cute couple. It's really weird though because I think the actual plot and storyline, I enjoyed It Happened One Summer more, but character-wise, I enjoyed Fox and Hannah more. So that was interesting. And I think that's why they ended up being the same, because it's like this couple's great but the plot is fine, and then this one the plot's great but the characters are fine. But yeah, overall I really did enjoy them. They were a lot of fun. I almost kind of wished I included them in a different video that I'm doing about summer because they're perfect summer reads. They're lighthearted, they're fun, they're warm, they're beachy. It's just really a great duology, I guess, technically speaking. I will definitely say that I'm happy I did this. I definitely think that this challenge redeemed Tessa Bailey for me, and I'm very excited to read some more of her books. I wouldn't go as far as to say she's my favorite author now, because there's still a lot about her writing that I'm not a fan of. I think I've said this in every single video that I've made, some of them multiple times, probably this one. I'm not a smut girly, and she's a smut girly, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine, but it's just not for me. So I do have to skip through a lot of the stuff that happens because it just is not written for me personally, and that's perfectly fine because I know that about her, so I go into her books expecting to skip those scenes. I'm not planning on reading any of her other books soon. However, I do want to read Secretly Yours and then Unfortunately Yours, or I forget, the pink and the purple one. I want to read those. They look very cute. I think they'd be fun. I've heard decent things, and then those are the only other books by her I want to read. all her other books have not really piqued my interest that much, but I do like her. I'll be keeping up with her books a bit more, and I'm very happy that I decided to do this because she's a good author. Her stories are very cute and fluffy and nice, but also it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Emily Henry or Christina Lauren, where it's not just fluff, like there's a lot of angst as well, which I enjoy when rom-coms get angsty and they have other things that they're dealing with, whether it's insecurities or trauma or grief or whatever it may be, because it just gives the characters a lot more depth. I've read some romances where it just feels like the entire book is just about the couple and maybe just a little bit of like, oh, he was mean to me once, so I'm gonna hate him for the rest of my life, but he's also super duper sexy and I kind of want him, and that's just like how it feels. And I'm not like a fan of that. I like characters with depth. I don't necessarily want to cry with every single book I read, but I like that depth. It makes them more real. It makes the story more interesting and just better, in my opinion. So I really do like that with both books. Each of the characters had like their own insecurities or flaws that they're working on, and they're growing as well as falling in love. Like, I really like that, and she does that very well. I especially enjoyed Fox's arc and seeing him deal with his insecurities. So overall, I'm very happy I gave her a shot. A very good writer, and I'm very happy to now be a fan of hers. So yeah, let me know if you like Tessa Bailey, if you don't, or are there any authors that you feel like you might want to give a redemption arc to? Thank you. Bye.